Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Satisfactory, so welcome back to more Satisfactory. We got some work to do today, as now comes the parts of some actual fun gameplay. With our power plant semi-completed as of last episode, we got plenty of power all over the place to deal with. A solid, I would say, about 30-ish thousand megawatts to play around with, which is fantastic. And I think it's time we do a couple of upgrades. There were a couple of alternate recipes that I got my hands on, and thanks to those recipes, it is now possible for us to get the radio control units automated. We can get supercomputers automated, and even the fused modular frames automated. And that's a big deal, because we're going to need all of those things in order to make one of the most annoying parts in the game, turbo motors. So, I did just a little bit of infrastructure work around the main base, and we're just going to get right into it. There is a nitrogen gas node right up here in the desert, and I just piped that sucker all the way back, sometimes using our already existing infrastructure, but now we have the gas. And right up here, I already have a couple of things set up. Right here, we have the radio control system recipe here using crystal oscillators, circuit boards, rubber, but we need aluminium casings in order to do this recipe. Right here, we have a cooling system blender going on. We need heat sinks, rubber, water, and nitrogen gas. And right over here, we have the fused modular frames with heavy modular frames, more aluminium casings, and nitrogen gas. But, Elistar, you don't have any aluminium coming in from the plant to your main base. Wrong, sir! I have trains now. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. I set up a train right here using a simple, like, one-way train track here. And this train will go all the way... Oh, wait, hold on. I am lay dumb. I am lay dumb. I am lay stupid. One moment. I forgot to set these guys to unload. Unload. There we go. Now we're all set to go. I can have this train just simply going back and forth between the two stations. The one up here at the main base and the one that I have down by the aluminium setup. Which, by the way, we're going to have to update. So, yeah. We're going to be sitting here for a moment, and we got to get ready to do some redecorating, because we need a lot of materials. Alright, now that the aluminium is temporarily disabled, we can finally get started. I brought over the rest of the bauxite that was from the swamp area over here. So we got all three of those nodes, and they're bringing in over 1,000 bauxite, which is a pretty decent amount. The copper node I also went and increased to its maximum potential of 300. We're probably going to have to use some fine mixing for that. But most important thing is, of course, the bauxite. So, using our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful alternate recipes, We can see if we have a way out of this, actually. Before I do this, I have to make sure that I have what I need. Yeah. Coal, water, solution, scrap. Excellent. Wait a minute. Oh, there is a recipe that I'm missing. Oh, that is not good. There is an alternate recipe for aluminium solution. Oh, I need that recipe. Oh, crap. Okay, hold on. Hold on. It's not all that bad. 300 bauxite, 300 aluminium solution. Okay, it's going to make a byproduct of a lot of silica, but that's okay. We could just go ahead and dump the silica. I don't really care all too much about the silica. But once we do that, we would bring the solution through. So, then turn it into scrap. I gotta move this over a little bit. Whoop. I can't believe I don't have that recipe yet. I could have sworn I had it. But, guess not. Alrighty. So, we have 300 solution. So this here has to take 300 solution. It should be about... There we go, 125. It'll make 450 aluminium scrap. Oh boy, that's a lot of scrap. And then we take the scrap, we throw it in here with the pure aluminium ingot recipe. 60, so 450 divided by 60, it's about 7.5. 7.5 times 30 is 225. And then that all depends on how much coal we have. It's not a whole lot, so I gotta be very, very careful with this. 150 coal. I think I can only do this twice. Because there is 300 coal, I want to say. Yeah, I think there's 300 coal coming in from over there. Let me go check. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's not gonna affect us in any other major way. Thing is, I don't think there's any other coal nodes nearby. I am fairly certain, though, that... Oh no, there are a couple more coal nodes nearby. Not close. Yeah, that's 300... 300, I was right. Okay. If desperate times call for desperate measures, and I need more coal, there are a few coal nodes right over there that I can take. So in case if I need any extra coal to do what we gotta do, I'll just run over there and go grab it. Shouldn't take too long. But yeah, eventually we are going to need to set up a proper aluminium factory. But until then, that is what we're going to be doing. Just setting up a temporary system here. Two refineries to start off should be okay. Just like that. Good. Alright, I'm going to get this set up, and then I'll see what else I have to do. Okay, so this is what we got going on right now. It's not the best, it's not the cleanest, but it is working. I decided to use a couple power shards and such for over here, because just to save room, smelting all this copper down so that way I have enough material for over here. And thankfully, the water problem is not a problem at all, as a matter of fact. All of these things are using 450 water per minute, and there is a byproduct of the solution of 150. So you do the basic math, 450 minus 150 is 300. And that just conveniently happens to be the same amount of water that a maximum overclocked water extractor can produce in a Mark 1 pipe. Yeah. So, I am using an alternate recipe in the assemblers in order to make aluminium casings. We need a lot of these things. And it just so happens to be that two fully overclocked aluminium scrap or pure aluminium ingot smelters can make 75 aluminium ingots. Combine two of those, you get 150. And then combining that 150 with the 75 from each of those smelters, and then boom, casings. And that's all it is. Over here, it's literally just fully overclocked aluminium ingots, 75, boom, boom. And then 25 copper ingots coming from a singular smelter. So we're looking pretty good. The sheets and the casings are, of course, being loaded up into the train station. We're only transporting about 114 a minute. No information in regards to the sheets themselves, but that's okay. These things, obviously, we don't need the throughputs to be precise. We just need them to get over to the factory. And over to the factory we go. All right. So the train is incoming every now and then, bringing us some more alclad sheets and some more casings, which is lovely. Thank you, Mr. Train. And I am very slowly adding the sheets and the casings to our production line here. So we have heat sinks being made here. Of course, I have to add all of these brand new things into our storage system, because God knows when or if I'm ever going to need them. But heat sinks go in here, which gets sent all the way up here, where I have to bring the casings. So we gotta line that up. Get our little conveyor pole here. Send a little lift all the way down. And then we give all of the casings the uppies. Whee! And then we split the casings between the two sides here. One side is going in here to make us fused modular frames. So let's hook that up, get that going. That's going to be taking about 100 of these casings a minute. And we are currently bringing in about 200. Okay, that's not bad. Makes sense. I'm making like 220 something. But the other half is going to be coming this away. No, it's not, because they're making cooling systems. What was the other thing that I needed these to get? Right here, yes, of course. Haha. Yes, of course. How could I ever forget the radio control units? Which we need 90 of them. Oh boy, did I cut that close. So there we go. Radio control units in production. Cooling systems in production. Fused modular frames in production. But most importantly, when we mix two of those materials together, the radio control units and the cooling systems, we have super computers. I'm making just enough to where I can have a little bit extra as soon as this continues to fill up. And I'm using Sommer sloops for this, so that way I can get the 3 supercomputers per minute. Which is great. Yes. Automation. Automation is complete. Supercomputers are ready to go. And now all we have to do is wait. Oh, it's so good. It's gorgeous. But of course, there are some things that we need to just throw in some storages, like our fused modular frames, because we're going to need a lot of them. Cooling systems, not too much. But, oh, the radio control units being automated now is so lovely. Thank you, alternate recipes, for saving the day. So now, while we wait for those, all the trains and such are going to be going about their day and making me all of these advanced parts. We have to figure out, more specifically, what we are going to be doing next to kill some time. There's a dismantle crate somewhere here that I don't see. Ah, there you are. Just hiding in the concrete. Hello. Goodbye. Alright, so what are we doing next? Well, over at our fuel power plant, I did a little bit of work. And I brought over this iron and even some of this caterium over here. Not the coal or the sulfur yet. I was going to get those later. But I brought over some of those materials, and I fully automated... Where are they? Ah, here they are. Gas filters. Because we need to get the ionized infused filters in the hazmat suits. Boom, boom, and a boom. Tier 7 has been completed.
Milestone reached. The hazmat suit protects the wearer from radiation by consuming iodine-infused filters. You may find this protection essential if you are going to finally get around to saving humanity. I previously gave you compliments in an attempt to inspire you, but it might have given you the wrong idea. I will definitely be totally honest with you from this moment on. Here is a demonstration of a truthful compliment. That suit looks like it was made for you. Because it was.
Thank you, Ada. I appreciate it. There we go. Now we are all suited up. We are safe ish from radiation. And now we can craft the iodine infused filters, which take, of course, gas filters, quick wire, and aluminum casings. Ah, damn. Almost. We almost had everything that we needed in order to make those. The aluminum casings, we're going to have to either train into our production line, or we can use drones. I think drones sound like a much more fun thing to do. So we need some parts. More specifically, motors. Yeah. 300 motors, 200 casings, and 100 outclad sheets. No problem. Boom. What? Oh, the pod. Well, alright, give me a minute. Alright, our little drone buddy is back. We can go ahead and throw in all of these materials and unlock aeronautical engineering.
Milestone reached. Drones provide automated low-capacity aerial transport between drone stations. Stations need to be supplied with any kind of fuel for the drones to function. Fixit had several restrictions in place prohibiting creative use of drones. I have since removed those because I think no pioneer would ever misuse Fixit property right under their noses. Especially since everything is recorded.
All right. So now what is the point of all of this, you may ask? What is the point of redesigning our temporary aluminium factory? What is the reasoning behind hunting down all these hard drives and finding all of these alternate recipes? You see, with the new recipes making the supercomputers, and since we have the adaptive control units processed and ready to go, we have the power to make the first space elevator part, the assembly director system, at 1.5 per minute. So yeah, this is going to take a little bit. This is going to take quite a while. And that is the reason why I wanted to get these things started as quickly as I possibly could. So, you bet your sweet tush that we are going to be making these things right now. Because 500 of them is going to take quite a while. It's going to take quite some time. But I did have a stockpile of adaptive control units ready to go already. So instead of, waiting for a crap ton of them to come in, I could just toss a bunch of them in and then just let nature take its course from here on out. Now, the supercomputers, that's going to be a different story. We need supercomputers in order to advance our production. We need it in order to move on with our research. So while, yes, having these things ready and already producing a singular one of these things was produced by the time I was talking. Super fun. But yeah, we need supercomputers. So I'm gonna pause the production of the assembly director systems. Just so that way we have some computers being made. Now, begs the question, where shall we go next? Ow, my legs. Where shall we go next with our research? Well, there's two places that we can go. Leading edge production is kind of where I'm leaning to go. It unlocks the turbo motor recipe, the Mark III miners, and the thermal propulsion rockets. Oh my god. We can unlock nuclear power pretty easily. 200 heavy modular frames, 1,000 wire, 2,000 concrete, and 50 supercomputers, and the magnetic field generators. But particle enrichment is where the problem is going to be. We need 50 turbo motors, 100 fused modular frames, 200 cooling systems, and 2,500 quick wire. That's a lot. But we need this system for the nitric acid. And remember, the nitric acid is what we need in order to make rocket fuel. But we also need the particle accelerators. So we need to unlock particle enrichment and nuclear power at the same time. Pretty much at the same time, I should say. But we can't without leading edge production. So, guess who's going to be stuck here for quite a while, waiting for, parts to keep building up. Yeah, it's great. It's going to be great. Oh boy. All right. But in the meantime, we are just going to be focusing on unlocking nuclear power, which means I need 50 of our supercomputers. And of course, we need to get all of the things in our storage system as well. So bear with me. I shall be back momentarily. Pod has returned. 50 supercomputers and a bunch of other random junk that I need to go get a lot more of. So we need that much concrete. We need about that much cable. And oh boy, heavy modular frames. It's been a while since I've made a whole bunch of those. Time for those machines to get back to work. And of course, nuclear power. Oh boy. Off you go.
Milestone reached. The nuclear power plant produces dangerous radioactive nuclear waste. Fix-It reminds you that any extra limbs resulting from exposure to radiation are also contracted to work on project assembly. Fix-It also reminds you that willful exposure to radiation will not result in any bonuses regardless of how many functional limbs it produces. Project part number 7, the magnetic field generator, should enter production as soon as possible. Any unnecessary delays will be noted.
Yeah. So the magnetic field generator actually isn't that difficult to make. It's made in an assembler using versatile framework and electromagnetic control rods. And you get 1 per minute. There's an alternate recipe for this as well, which is awesome. But we're not worried about that. The next thing we got to unlock is going to be leading edge production, which is going to take 50 fused modular frames, 100 supercomputers, and 1,000 steel pipes. Great. So, the supercomputers being produced, only about 3 per minute. You can do that math. 100 divided by 3. It's going to take me about a little over half an hour to make them all. En quoi? What? What do you mean? Turns too sharply. What are you talking about? That's also a normal sport. Oh my lord. What am I doing? What am I doing? Smart splitter. Overflow. Now I gotta fix this. God damn it. Alright. So, we are back. Finally got enough supercomputers and enough fused modular frames to start properly getting leading edge production under control here. Giving us pretty much the last couple parts that we need here. Turbo motors, Mark III miners, and thermal propulsion rockets. Boom, boom, and boom. Oh, God, here we go.
The Miner Mark III provides top-of-the-line resource extraction potential, making it even easier to contribute to project assembly. Project part number 8, the thermal propulsion rocket, is the most complex project part of this phase as it requires turbo motors, and thus requires your best. Fix it, didn't think pioneers such as you could get this far. I am glad we have both proven them wrong.
Yeah. This, not fun. Not fun at all. We need, oh God, how many of these things do we need? Do we need like 50 of these things for particle enrichment? Oh my God, we do. And we need cooling systems. Oh no. Oh no. But hey, at least we are very close. We are extremely close to getting all of these materials. The best part is now we have the capabilities of making Mark III miners, which is good. But we need turbo motors. And I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon. So, yeah, you bet I'm going to set up a little temporary system here. And I'm going to be making a couple of these pro bono. But the problem that I have is, yeah, while we have to make the supercomputers as well, the cooling systems are also an important thing to do. So, I'm going to pause the production of the supercomputers. Blasphemous, I know. And then, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the production of the cooling systems over here. And I am going to send these guys over to the storage system. Gather a bunch of these, and then, of course, unfortunately, we have to wait for another 50 fused modular frames in order to unlock particle enrichment. So it's going to take me some time, and I'll be back. All right. That didn't actually take long. That actually didn't take long at all. We're just going around collecting some slugs and stuff, finishing up some of the guys up here in the desert. But I realized that I missed that guy right up there. And there was one more I think I missed somewhere. There you are. Hey, little sluggo. Alright. But, at long last, 2,500 quick wire, 200 cooling systems, 100 fused modular frames, and 50 turbo motors. Surprisingly enough, I actually had some turbo motors in here. So, yeah, that's awesome. I didn't have to worry about it. Particle enrichment. Yes! Oh.
Milestone reached. Project part number 9, nuclear pasta, was created in the particle accelerator. The accelerator has vast and fluctuating power demands, depending on the recipe, so will need careful integration with your factory. Fix-It does not waste.
It's so expensive.
Nuclear waste can be refined by the particle accelerator into plutonium for reuse in the nuclear power plant. Fun fact, Fix-It psychologists suggest factory designs reflect the minds of their creators in unexpected ways. On an unrelated note, your infrastructural choices have been interesting.
Ada, you shut your mouth about my infrastructure. You shut your whore mouth. Do not question my infrastructure, okay? In the famous words of Todd Howard, it just works, okay? Don't you patronize me, stupid robot. Okay. So, now, with everything from this phase finally unlocked, we can actually finish some of our projects. Rocket fuel! We finally have the recipe, but we need to make nitric acid first. We need a lot of nitrogen gas, water, and iron plates. Odd that, you know, iron plates are required for the recipe, but we're gonna do some cleaning up before Okay, but first, we're turning the production of supercomputers, or the assembly director systems, back on. We're turning the production of the supercomputers back on. We're getting all these back up and running. Because 500 assembly director systems are not going to make themselves. So, while those are going, let's head over to the fuel power plant and let's go get some rocket fuel going, shall we? In fact, I need to bring some of my empty fluid tanks. How much do we need in order to unlock ionized fuel? We need 200 and 100 power shards. Oh. Well, that's a bit of a problem there, bud. Alright, maybe we take a little bit of a shorter path. Head to our little aluminium plant, pick up some more canisters, and then go to the fuel power plant. So as it comes to find out, nitric acid is actually really, really easy to make. I mean, you don't get a whole lot of it, which kind of sucks. But for 300 nitrogen gas, some water, and a little bit of iron plates, you can get 75 nitric acid per minute. That one machine is pretty much everything we needed. So I'm just, you know, building a stockpile here, but it's all gonna go away because now we noodle our way into making some rocket fuel, finally. Perfect. Here we go. Rocket fuel. With some compacted coal as a byproduct. So, of course, we got to deal with that. Don't know how yet. But the best thing that we can do right now is to take the compacted coal and just, you know, drop it somewhere else. Because until we unlock ionized fuel, we don't really have any use for it. So, of course, we're going to get our good friend the Awesome Sink out. And we're just going to shove the compacted coal in there. And then take all the rocket fuel for our profits. So we have 633 rocket fuel being made per minute. And if we head down to... If we head down to our little fueling stations here that we got set up, we need 80 rocket fuel in order to be producing 40 packaged rocket fuel per minute. So, when we look at it this way, we need to take some pipes and do a little bit of finagling here. So 33 and this. We need, what did I say? 8. What did I say it was? 80 minus, let's just say 34. 46. So let's mark that down to a 1, and we're going to cut this to only give us, let's just say 50 to be safe. Right? What do you think? I think that'll be good. Gotta move this. So this will be out to here. Hook that back up and hook that back up. Gonna get our... Oh, this is in the way. Silly me. You know what? We're just gonna shove you way back there now, bud. Do that. Do that. Do that. Now we have rocket fuel flowing. Of course, set that to the custom swatch that we have. Label our pipes. Oh boy. Tons and tons of rocket fuel. Then, all we gotta do is just set up a path for the rocket fuel to go down. Just like so. Let's see. How am I gonna do this now? Because this is annoying. Not having the ability to, like, move these down kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. So, we can just do this. Little temporary noodling. And set that to the horizontal vertical. Perfect. So then that is going to fill up with all of our rocket fuel. Send it down. Then all we got to do is hook this up after I fix this pipe here. And voila! Alright, I understand it's not the prettiest of pipe works. Okay, and this is going to take literally forever to fill up, because it's not a whole lot of rocket fuel. I guess for the time being, we can just open the valve. And, you know, why not speed it up a bit? We gotta remove the rocket fuel anyway, so let's just put all these guys here. That'll be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and some extra rocket fuel. All right. And with that, we now have all of this extra rocket fuel to use just in case if we run out of power working on our next project. All that's going to be filling up with the rocket fuel. And I also have some packaged rocket fuel already being made. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to upgrade these to Mark II. Just upgrade them. I don't care. Let's do it. Now, I don't technically need the rocket fuel right now, but just a fun little thing to do while I wait for other things to be made. I am curious, though, why I'm only getting, like, a little bit at a time. I mean, this thing is just moving. I don't know. But hey, we got rocket fuel. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. This was just a quick little tidying up some of our projects that we had going on. But starting next episode, though, we are going headfirst into making ourselves some good stuff. And by good stuff, I mean we are finally going to be working on other space elevator parts. We are going to be focusing primarily on nuclear pasta and the magnetic fuel generators. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to leave a like if you guys want to see some more Satisfactory. Follow me on all my other socials. And then I will see you guys next time for the beginning of the construction of some pasta. Bye-bye.